More Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Menholt Rushmore Honda.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. With today's home values, right now could be a great time to sell your home. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I would love to help you get top dollar for your home. I have been selling real estate and attracting buyers in Rapid City for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. If you're thinking of selling your current home, let me put my expertise to work for you. Just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, summitautogrp.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Time, Knicks up 2-0 in the series. The Atlanta Hawks today gave head coach Quinn Snyder a contract extension. Raptors did the same with GM Bobby Webster, who was promoted to executive vice president. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby is eligible to play college football again after a judge granted a temporary injunction in his lawsuit against the NCAA. It was the NCAA who had ruled Sorsby ineligible last month after it was discovered he placed bets on sporting events, including games where he was a member of the team competing. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark has released a statement expressing great concern over the ruling and said they expect an appeal by the NCAA within the next 24 to 48 hours. In college baseball, Oklahoma swept Kansas to advance to the College World Series. Alabama did the same with St. John's as the Crimson Tide are headed to Omaha for the first time since 1999. Kansas City Chiefs signed corner L'Jarius Sneed. I'm Dan Beyer.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, great interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, we're ready on a wild Monday. This is going to be fun tonight. We got a lot to hit tonight. Welcome in. It is South Dakota Sports Talk Show. We're live on Fox Sports Radio across the state, where it is always a great day in South Dakota. Say it with me. Hope you had a nice weekend. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is back. Fox Sports Radio affiliates, Fox Sports Rapid City. We're live on KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls. The Nate Brown Show also streaming on Twitter. Follow us and watch us live at Nate Brown Show. You've got us at Nate Brown Show. Welcome in on Twitter. How you doing? Also X. Yes, you call it X. We call it Twitter. Whichever, at Nate Brown Show. Find us on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. Search The Nate Brown Show YouTube channel. Subscribe. You've got every show live right there on YouTube. And you can watch us on Midwest Sports Plus, the new high school sports streaming app. High school sports season finally wound down. A little softball action over the weekend. High school sports live games on Midwest Sports Plus, and the Nate Brown Show also there. Welcome in, however you're listening or watching. Let's get going. I said a wild Monday. We got a big game tonight, NBA Finals Game 3. I am just stunned right now. I got Rob Keighron getting ready to come in on a Reaction Monday. New York City native Rob Keighron is going to be, I don't know what he's going to be like tonight. You can't get much better than Rob Keighron, New York City guy, when the Knicks are just up 2-0, and he's just gonna knock me down tonight. Spurs blew it on Friday. They had it. They blew it. We'll get into that. A Reaction Monday coming up. Guest host Rob Keighron next hour. A full hour with Rob Keighron coming up. So we'll save the finals stuff for that. Now we got some big stuff from the college football landscape. So we got two great guests on the college football side today. Mike Golic Jr. is in, college football analyst, TNT Sports. Mike Golic Jr. is on tonight. We'll go to John Brice as well, reaction from the national college football writer for USA Today. John Brice live from South Bend. And right here in South Dakota, some high school news you need to know from our friend Matt Kearney. He's the guy that he finds this info. You got to follow him. At Matt Kearney, are you doing that yet? If you're a high school sports fan, we've got some high school sports stuff to talk with Craig Mattick. Craig Mattick's coming on, SDPB from Sioux Falls. Busy show tonight on a Monday. I got a lot to get to. Let's get you on if you want in, 605-720-1067. Hit that number, 605-720-1067, the Pizza Ranch Studio Hotline. Powered by the Pizza Ranch. Remember, the best buffet in town. Two great locations, East River in Brandon and East 10th Street in Sioux Falls. Locally owned and operated. Take the family, the friends, the team. Go to the Pizza Ranch, the best buffet by far. Also, Barron's Wilson text line is open for you, 605-720-1067. Barron's Wilson listener text line for you. Be a part of the conversation, 605-720-1067. Okay, this is a quite a story today. NBA Finals, like, big right now. New York, the whole scene, the whole thing tonight's going to be massive. But this story to me is bigger. This story in sports is bigger. It's if this holds. I've said this now for, what is this, 3 weeks, a month? I said this is the NCAA's last stand at having any rules at all. Otherwise, I'm serious. Normally, if, radio show hosts, they got to be hyperbolic, they got to be hot take crazy, they got to be nuts, and you got to be like Stephen A. Smith and throw crazy stuff out, right? No, but I'm serious about this story in college sports today. I've said it, not just today, but if you've listened over the past month, this is the last stand for the NCAA. I think this is absolutely the only thing that can hang their hat on if they have any rules at all. And it's stopping athletes from gambling on sports and specifically your own team. And why do I bring it up? The biggest story in sports today, by far, is the Brendan Sorsby story at Texas Tech. The QB who admitted to betting on sports, betting on his own team. He was at Indiana. He was at Cincinnati. Now he transferred to Texas Tech. They're paying him big money to come and be the QB for Texas Tech in the Big 12. And he's admitted all this. And then his legal team got going here, and they sued, and they wanted to get eligible for this season. NCAA says, you're ineligible. You bet on sports. You bet on your own team. You're ineligible. You're done. And guess what happened today? If you haven't been plugged in, you've been working, you've been grinding, the court, the judge, is going to allow for Brendan Sorsby to play in 2026, at least right now. And you can get into the legal stuff, like this isn't the last stand, but this is a big deal. They call it an injunction. So they've got eligibility now for Texas Tech QB Brendan Sorsby after admitting he bet on sports. And I'm trying to figure out, like, how can this be? How can this happen? This is just college football in 2026, right? There are no rules. There are zero rules then. There are zero rules. So you can do anything, and then if you have a legal team powerful enough, you can sue the NCAA over anything. This is like the number one thing you can't do. The only thing that's clear cut. It's no legalese. There's no gray area. There's no nothing. You can't do it. You're ineligible. That's it. And the court is going to say he can play after betting on his own team? Well, he has a mental illness and stuff like that. I understand. There's people that have alcoholism. There, all this and that. You have to have rules in an organization. That doesn't mean you can break the rules and still be a part of that organization. I mean, people say, well, I feel bad for him and stuff. Fine, whatever you say. But you can't do this and then just let it go. So there's no rules left, right? There's no rules left. Wait a minute. Wait. I have something here from the University of North Dakota. Wow. Why would I bring this up? I just have this in front of me here. The University of North Dakota football program over the weekend has been found they were tampering with a transfer that wasn't in the transfer portal yet. Wait a minute. No, I'm serious. This is a real story today with the Brendan Sorsby story, and you're getting the irony, right? I mean, you're understanding the irony of this. University of North Dakota football had an assistant coach who sent some text to a player that was thinking about transferring, and they reported it to the NCAA. UND compliance reported their own mistake of an assistant coach tampering before a player got in the portal. You can't contact them, wink, wink. You can't do it. It's a big rule the NCAA has. And guess what? Who do you think is in trouble today? Brendan Sorsby. Number one rule, can't bet on sports, can't bet on your own team, can't do it, you're ineligible, you're done. Or who do you think's in trouble? The UND coach who sent some text to a player that was thinking about transferring and maybe was going to come to UND. He sent it before the transfer portal. It's a big no. Well, guess what? The NCAA has penalized the University of North Dakota for tampering with a player not yet in the portal. They're going to give them a $25,000 fine, a 1-week ban during the January transfer portal window. They're going to be banned from being involved in that. 3% reduction in paid visits for football, and the coach is going to be suspended for a game next year. Wait a minute. So a program like UND gets hit, and it's not like the end of the UND program, but I'm just telling you, can you laugh at this, please? I mean, this is totally nuts. This is absolutely crazy. So hang on a second. If UND didn't report it, the compliance department, if they didn't report it to the NCAA, UND wouldn't be in trouble today by the NCAA? Yeah, that's right. Because why do you... here's what I'm learning, guys. Why would you do anything under the NCAA now? Why would you report anything? There's no rules. We got UND's going to be put on a $25,000 fine, a ban in recruiting during the transfer window, some bans on visits, coach getting suspended. I mean, you're going to get UND in trouble because they self-reported, and it was a big headline over the weekend, and I thought it was a joke. That was before I heard this Brendan Sorsby mess. I mean, this is absolutely out of control. So I gotta say, how is the NCAA going to enforce anything? And then people are using this to say, hey, this Brendan Sorsby thing, he bet on sports, he bet on his own team, he admitted. They say this should be why college sports needs the government to get involved. Hey, I know there needs to be some changes. I'm kind of a proponent of some federal law here. I know it can get ugly, it can get messy, it's going to be tough. So I'm kind of a proponent of that. But don't use this Brendan Sorsby thing that the NCAA got. They banned him. This is the one time where the NCAA has everything right. They are right on this. You can't bet on this and play. Then all bets are off. I mean, it's just unbelievable. There was a Big 12 coach who reacted to this today. A Big 12 coach said, hang on, if they're going to let players bet on games, why don't I just get my players together, tell them, hey, we're not going to play well in this game. Why don't you guys go bet on it, a bunch of money, and then we don't play well and we lose, and then you can make a bunch of money. I mean, people say, well, that's extreme. That's extreme. Well, that's a Big 12 coach saying that's what this is like. If you're having players bet on sports, bet on their own team, and the NCAA loses this, which they did today, and I know the NCAA, we're going to appeal now. Okay, we're into that mess. This should have never even been granted by the judge. I mean, it shouldn't even be close. I can't believe it. A circuit judge in Texas. I mean, I just can't believe it. So there's big problems here. If they let this go, I thought this was the last stand. You're surely not going to let this guy play. This is the last stand, and it's over. It's over. By the way, whatever happened to the Iowa Hawkeyes athletes? What was it, Iowa and Iowa State? Remember those guys? What was that, a year ago or so? There was an investigation into, they were betting on stuff. Not even their own team, not even the sport they were in. There was like a wrestler in Iowa who placed some bets on like Iowa football. This is a wrestler. And he placed some bets on football. And he got popped like the NCAA said, you're done. That's it. And then they didn't, I guess, get a legal team to whine about it and cry about it. And so then he's done. His career was over. So you had Hawkeye and Cyclone athletes get popped in an Iowa sports betting scandal, and they're just done. And then we let Brendan Sorsby go through the legal process, and he gets to play? This is absolutely bizarre. Let me see here. 605-720-1067 is the number. You want to join the conversation? I don't know. I mean, there's got to be millions of people that think this is crazy. Yet one person, what was it? What did the judge say here? This court finds that Sorsby will suffer probable, imminent, and irreparable injury if he isn't able to participate for Texas Tech. Oh, imminent and irreparable injury. Oh, so break the rules, and as long as you can get enough legal power, you can break the rules, and you can play. The number one rule in college sports. The last rule that the NCAA has. That's it. I guess this, I mean, I've said the NCAA is about ready to wrap up operations. Once they lose that TV contract, like once they lose the basketball tournament thing, forget it. I mean, they'll be running D2 championships, D3 championships. That's it. I mean, forget it. So the NCAA can't enforce anything. I mean, this is crazy. Will this get turned around? I don't know. Today on a Monday, it is bonkers. So Pete Rose in pro baseball. This is the Pete Rose thing. And people are so passionate on this. They're so passionate. Pete, it was the cardinal sin. You can't do it. You can't ever do it. Bet on his own team. Well, Pete said he just did it to win. He just bet on his own team to win. So what's the problem? Ban him. Ban him for life. And Brendan Sorsby's playing this year. You tell me. Let's see. Listener text. Let's go to some text for you. 605-720-1067. Listener text, preach, Nate. This is a complete joke. The NCAA is more dead than it ever has been. Sounding good. All right. Hey, I appreciate that. Listener text, Nate, nobody wants to get sued. Matter of fact, you do everything you can to avoid getting sued. The NCAA needs to be more lenient on the gambling, like maybe suspending and fines. I mean, they did. They suspended him. He's done. I mean, you can't do it. You could have the argument, should athletes be able to bet on other sports? But Brendan Sorsby admitted to betting on his sport and his team. You can't have that. With the integrity of college sports, you can't have it. There's not much integrity left. Hate to break it to you, but that's the number one thing. It's over. If you got guys that can bet on their own team, on their own sport, this is... I'm serious when I say the integrity of college football is over. That's it. It's done. Gone. See ya. So, no, the NCAA, this is the one thing where I'll tell you, I agree with the NCAA. You got to be harsh. You absolutely have to be harsh. You can have an argument with me about should college athletes be able to bet at all. I can have that conversation with you. I cannot have it if they're betting on their own sport, their own team. And then... if you're going to let them bet on college sports, well, you're going to have to monitor it and all the whole thing. Do they have inside information? They thought this baseball player is going to be injured and he has a buddy on the team, so he knew Alabama was going to lose. See, it turns into a mess. So you just can't do it. The NCAA has to say, no, end of story, done. So let's see. Listener text, money is the root of all evil. Well, I've heard that one before. Listener text, Hunter Deckers did it at Iowa State, got banned from the NCAA, went JUCO and balled out, was on the Saints squad last year. If Hunter at Iowa State, the Iowa athletes got banned, then no way Texas Tech guy gets a free pass. Absolutely. And nobody's saying anything about the Iowa State thing. They're just like, well, those guys have been on sports. I remember covering that story. It was big around here, right? I was like, man, this not good. It wasn't like huge bets or thousands of bets, but they did a big whole investigation of these athletes that are betting at Iowa and Iowa State. They banned them. They were done, and Sorsby could be coming to a game near you. Just crazy. By the way, I've got something in South Dakota sports today that I think they're trying to avoid, like, actual litigation or actual, like, parents that say, hey, if my kid doesn't get to do this, we're going to have a problem. And there is a rule change that's coming to South Dakota high school student athletes and middle school student athletes. It looks to be that way. I'm going to get into that later. Craig Mattick's coming up. A lot to discuss. We'll go to Mike Golic Jr. on this. He's been a big player proponent on a lot of stuff. What does he say about Brendan Sorsby? Golic Jr.'s coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day.
That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Well, what a Monday. I didn't see this coming. I did not see it coming. We were just talking about it on Thursday, saying this Brendan Sorsby case probably not going to go through. We were just talking about it. I've been talking about this the past few weeks. This is the last stand for the NCAA on the Texas Tech QB who admitted to betting on sports and his own team, college football, thousands of bets over his time there. And now the legal team has gotten an injunction. That means he's eligible to play in 2026 as of now. I mean, this is just absolutely wild. Mike Golic Jr. has been a college football player. He's a college football analyst, TNT Sports. He's on X at Mike Golic Jr. Follow him if you're not. And he's back on the Nate Brown Show in South Dakota on Fox Sports Radio. Mike, welcome in. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Nate?
Good, man. I appreciate your time. I talked to you about this a couple of weeks ago, and you told me you don't see how this could go through. Well, it's gone through, at least for now. What do you say today?
I am pretty stunned. I think like everybody else here, it just, for so long in a sport that has seen so much change, where that's been the only constant in the last half decade or so, especially, we still thought there was that one clear line drawn in the sand where, like every other league, in an era where sports gambling had become legalized and had become advertised and a part of the ecosystems around these leagues, that there was still going to be that very clear separation of church and state when it came to the product on the field. And while people are going to parse through this a million different ways and, look at the idea that Sorsby never influenced the outcome of a game that he was a part of and all these different things, it still at least creates the opening for the slippery slope where if this happens in the future in a way that is worse or more implicated in that, is there now an avenue created back? I don't know if there's even a concrete answer to that, but at least right now, that door is kind of propped open in a way that I just thought was so clearly slammed shut by every governing body of every sport on the planet, and it was. The NCAA tried. It's just kind of like everything else now, apparently up for grabs when it comes to college athletics.
Okay, so what do you think this means for the NCAA? I said they don't have much left as far as enforcement. Like, this is a big one. They have the men's basketball tournament. That's a big revenue generator, that whole thing. What's the NCAA left to do after something like this if they can't enforce this?
Yeah, not much. Hope that the new bit of legislation that, Ted Cruz and company have brought forth to the Senate gets pushed through that gives them a little bit more ability along with the CSC to actually punish things here. But in general, I'm kind of with you. But it in fairness, has been that way for a while, where the NCAA has taken one legal beating after another on multiple fronts for a while and had been having some success as of late with some of the rulings related to, the length of athlete careers and people looking for extra eligibility, 6th, 7th years, guys trying to come back from professional leagues. It had been more of a mixed bag than one-sided in the way it had been with a lot of other issues. But I think we've known for a while the NCAA is reaching the end of its utility and probably has been for a while, but this one I'd have to imagine surprised even them.
Mike Golic Jr. is on tonight, college football analyst, TNT Sports, here on the Nate Brown Show. Brendan Sorsby, the big discussion point, Texas Tech QB, got an injunction today. A judge said he can play even after betting on sports and his own team over the years. So that's as of now. I look at the latest reaction, Big 12 and SEC. There are people throwing out, we're not going to play these guys. We're not going to play Texas Tech if they let this happen. Is that real? I saw the Big 12 commissioner said, hey, we're having some meetings right here, right now.
Yeah, I don't know what that looks like. I am, someone who calls Notre Dame my alma mater, and it wasn't that long ago, if we remember going back to the college football playoff final decision where Notre Dame athletic director Pete Bavacqua said that they had done the ACC irreparable damage to their relationship with Notre Dame. And, fast forward to this spring, Jim Phillips, Pete Bavacqua, both singing the praises of the other, and that relationship appears to be in a pretty good spot. So I think in the immediacy, there are always strong reactions. I think a way forward towards that reality where, you're talking about the members of the Big 12 not playing, a member of the Big 12, and by the way, the one that's at the top of the totem pole right now, that won the league last year, that's the favorite to do it again this year, that was a college football playoff team. I just wonder what the road ahead for that looks like and how actionable any of this is, beyond a bunch of people who all thought, I think like a lot of the rest of us, that this was a shoo-in to be an outcome that reinforced the same old rule, and are kind of trying to figure out what to do with this new reality.
So, young guys bet on sports. I mean, I know that, it. Young guys and athletic, they love betting on sports. Do you think actually now, if this sticks, that athletes across the board will be betting on sports a lot, and probably maybe even their own games? Do you think that's a big deal?
I mean, it's definitely a big deal. Like, to your point, do I think that everyone is going to assume they can now get away with, gambling on sports and doing all these things? I don't know. Like, we also have to remember this is sports, and part of the reason that Texas Tech and everyone in Brendan Sorsby's camp was so willing to go to bat for him is they think he'll be one of the better quarterbacks in college football next year. Texas Tech is reportedly paying him over $5 million to go and do that. So this is someone that they are incentivized on every front to go fight for. If I'm, going back to when I was in college, if I'm me, a guy that was a backup until his last year and a half of school and had to work hard to get on the field and earn a starting job eventually, do I think that I would be treated the same? No, I had enough self-awareness to realize that. I would hope some other guys recognize, hey, not everyone is going to be going to bat for you. Not everyone is going to put the number of resources behind you that they did for Brendan Sorsby here. But to your point, it opens up the possibility where, all right, hey, listen, if we believe Brendan Sorsby dealing with addiction, and it sounds like based on the documented instances and how much he was gambling and the amounts, it probably was someone who's dealing with a serious problem, and I truly hope he is getting the help that he needs and that he can maximize the best of his ability going forward to have the kind of career he wants, now that seems to be the case. But this does open the door for bad actors to potentially try and weaponize this same path if they find themselves in this situation. And that's the kind of Pandora's box we're teetering on opening right now that has a lot of people worried, because at the end of the day, the integrity of the game, we've seen plenty of people say it today, the belief that what you are seeing on the field is an outcome uninfluenced by bad actors, is at the core of what every league that puts on sports has to preserve in order to keep the audience coming back for more of what's been one of the most exciting products in all of sports. And so if you start to open up at least that possibility that people can ideate that this is going on, that's not something that anybody wants, and college football shouldn't want either.
So, Mike, you're not an attorney, and I didn't think the legal team would even get this done today, but I have to think the NCAA has already said we're going to appeal, they're going to fight, they're going to go to the mat. Do you think he plays right here in September?
As we sit right now, I think so. And again, to your point, I am not an attorney, but I did some Googling today. And when you go back and you look at things like the Charles Bediako case coming back in college football or college basketball this year, he got a temporary restraining order. Those a lot more quick, a lot more easy to process quickly, and so the NCAA got that overturned about a month later. Temporary injunctions a little bit different and harder to lift until after all the legal proceedings. Now, I know the NCAA is pushing for an expedited appeal of this entire process, and maybe they'll get it, but the clock is ticking right now and certainly favors Brendan Sorsby in the timeline that it would take legally to get this done based on some of that. So I think we're looking at a world where he's going to get the chance to play. They might rule against him after the fact in a way that maybe could have some precedent-setting effect going forward later on. But this legal maneuver appears to have done its job in the timeline that helps Brendan Sorsby get back on the field, and certainly positions Texas Tech to once again be the favorite to win the Big 12 and likely make another return run to the college football playoff.
Mike Golic Jr. on tonight. Find him on X at Mike Golic Jr. He's with TNT, college football analyst. So I look at people saying this type of thing is why we need a federal law about college sports and regulations and rules. Do you think this is a breaking point? We're going to have movement in Congress, but it's not going very fast, and a lot of people are saying they don't like this or that. We're going to get something federal here.
Well, the thing is, I look at now. It should be noted, the most recent bill that had been brought forward that's got bipartisan support, that has a few things that both sides of the aisle and people from different vantage points in college football all can see as a win for them, doesn't really have specific language, at least that I've seen, that addresses something like this. And so, it's in the early stages. I'm sure that bill is going to change a lot before it really has its chance. I don't know. This is something that should, prompt action and prompt some sort of legislation that does allow the NCAA to actually have teeth to go and make these things stick, because for all that people get upset about with everything else, I saw Alex Kirshner, who does a great job covering college football over at Split Zone Duo, he said college football is a really durable product, and we've seen that over the last decade. With all the changes, with all the different stuff in the sport, we still turn on the TV, and fall Saturdays were pretty special last year, and I have a feeling will be again this year. But this is, again, the type of thing that poses a far more existential threat, I think, than anything else. The name, image, and likeness, than the transfer portal, than conference realignment. This is really at the core of competition and what separates it from just pure entertainment. And so I do think this is something lawmakers should seriously consider, and something that, for me, who is incredibly pro-player, who has my own disagreements with the current bill that's on the table, this is something that I think would draw far more unilateral support in getting through, whether as a standalone or whether as a part of some larger bill.
Mike Golic Jr. on tonight, getting us started with a huge story. Texas Tech QB Brendan Sorsby wins, gets an injunction. That means he's eligible to play this year, even after admitting to thousands of sports bets, which is illegal under the NCAA. Mike, I appreciate you. Thanks for hopping on.
Thanks, Nate.
Thanks a lot. Mike Golic Jr. on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. That's Mike from TNT Sports, college football analyst. He's on X at Mike Golic Jr. All right. He says the federal law should address this. Can you imagine, guys, that if they let this go, that is telling players, like 5 players on a basketball team, they could say, hey, you guys want to bag it tonight? We're favored by 4. You guys want to, what do you think? We might be able to do this, maybe get away with it. I don't know, just have a bad game, miss a few shots, turn the ball over, like Wemby throwing it to Castle when he's not looking, stuff like that. I mean, that's the type of stuff you can say, oh, that's crazy talk. Well, it's just saying you can bet on sports, you can bet on your own team, and there's no punishment. I mean, this is just nuts. Absolutely nuts. Is the Pete Rose thing different? You guys tell me. Is the Pete Rose thing different? That was one of the biggest stories in the history of sports. Pete Rose banned for life betting on baseball. And people absolutely just went to the end on that. And then people say, well, Pete should have done the Hall of Fame when he was alive and stuff, and baseball should have reconciled stuff. There's still people passionate that Pete Rose did the ultimate sin, you can't do it. And here we got a college football quarterback who did it, and now he's going to play right away. What do you get, 2-game suspension? Ooh, oh, boy. That'll learn him. John Brice in next, his take on it. USA Today, National College Football writer. John's really good coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Save big money on everything for your next project at Menards. results. Know you're getting the job done right with a level from Johnson Level. They offer a variety of levels, laser levels, and layout tools for incredible accuracy. Get a 48-inch I-beam level on sale now through June 14th. Save big on Johnson Level products at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
At Splash City, we think there's a time for everything. There's work time, there's play time, and there's your time. Splash City specializes in your time. Spas for you and your friends. Beautiful gas fireplaces that can be used almost anywhere, bringing warmth to the night or letting you be alone with your thoughts. Splash City. Rest, relax, enjoy.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
No one comes close to the selection of whiskey and bourbon than your Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. And this month you can save $6 off a $7.50 bottle of Pendleton, now $18.99. Or choose the big 175-liter bottle of Pendleton for only $45.99. Plus save $8 off a handle of Crown Royal for just $46.99. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. Off Cadron next to Walmart, or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
Have you ever really thought about how important your front door, and every entry door into your home for that matter, really is? That door provides security for your family and so much more. The wait is over. Ensemble Doors by Renewal by Andersen have arrived. These awesome secure doors have timeless style, elegant features. They can be customized countless ways with the legendary quality of Renewal by Andersen. Right now, Renewal by Andersen is offering an incredible value on Ensemble entry doors. You get 20% off every Ensemble entry door. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 months. No payments for a year. Ensemble entry doors by Renewal by Andersen are just so much better. They're built with the best quality materials, including Renewal by Andersen's exclusive Fibrex, which has been tested to deliver enhanced security, certified performance, and lasting beauty. Please visit RBARapidCity.com now. That's RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate. Ensemble entry doors. The wait is over.
At Dakota Discount RV, we're in it for the long haul, just like you. Whether it's cross-country adventures, weekends by the lake, or family time under the stars, we're here to keep you rolling for years to come. While others are
All right, welcome in. Welcome back. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live. Too bad the Knicks are going to lose tonight. It's going to be an interesting night. Reaction Monday coming up with our guest host, Rob Keighron. He's live in studio. National radio host, Rob Keighron, coming up. Hey, it's John Brice. Appreciate his time on a busy Monday. Find his work at usatoday.com. National college football writer. The Brendan Sorsby story, I said, is bigger than anything. Winning his appeal, getting an injunction, and getting eligibility for the 2026 season, at least right now, to play after admitting to thousands of bets, and bets including his own team over the years. And I said, this is, if the NCAA doesn't win this, I don't know what's going to happen now. So that's where we're at now, John. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. I think that was Marshall Tucker Band there playing that bumper music. And whoever it was, I'm sure that their last silver dollar would be wagered in this case that we're talking about.
The Allman Brothers. You were close. The Allman Brothers.
That's
okay.
I almost went Allman Brothers, yeah.
You're solid. I mean, you got a lot of things on your mind. By the way, I'm gonna get into this. The Brendan Sorsby case, I think it's absolutely nuts. I'm going to ask you from a coaching side of this. You talk to a lot of coaches. So there's people reacting that we're not even going to play Texas Tech. If they let this go and this guy plays after breaking the ultimate rule, we're not going to play these guys. Is that just big talk or what?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Nate, because I do think that there are people ready to stand on principle while no one else does in this situation. And I think it's probably a bigger picture item writ large for where NCAA athletics are right now. I'll also say this. I heard from an ACC coach late this afternoon who point blank told me, I bleep and hope people boycott their asses. So I think that's the sentiment that's out there. People are sick of it. You can do a lot of things, and a lot of coaches will never weigh in on pay for play, either the legal or the illegal forms of it. But this is the one sacred testament as it pertains to athletics at all levels.
So here's what this feels like, and I think I'm right. If this isn't a star QB, this guy's done, just like an Iowa State wrestler and an Iowa athlete a year ago, right? If this guy's not a star in college football, he's done like the Iowa guys.
It depends, Nate, because I will say, what if it was a star wrestler? What if it was, because Iowa and Iowa State have great wrestling programs, like Nebraska, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, a number of others. So what if it was an All-American wrestler who could get an attorney who sympathized or who looked for the headlines and wanted to participate in the case, and they fought for it? Because as it was explained to me by some attorneys today and some contract experts literally on both coasts, this is they've sort of pinned their case on this being a disability type of case, and the NCAA not providing adequate protection under disability law from a contract standpoint to provide the loophole that's allowed Brendan Sorsby to receive this temporary injunction, which, by the way, we reported late this afternoon the NCAA would appeal. We have learned the NCAA has now officially filed its appeal in this case.
Okay, I don't know the legal side of this, and maybe you know it a little better, John, but I was looking at it. They say an injunction's big. Like this isn't like a restraining order. It's like an injunction's big to where that could hold up in court through this appeal. So they're thinking he's going to get to play here. Do you think so?
I mean, 100% based on the attorneys that I talked to today. They all said the judge would not issue the injunction if the judge in this case, Ken Curry, did not believe there were grounds for them to win the injunction. They all said to a person, this doesn't happen without the belief that there's merit there for a legal victory. So we will see. The other thing that was pointed out to me is that, again, the court case has been temporarily set for February 8, 2027. It was pointed out to me that the NCAA would likely appeal before it was made official because they'll want precedent on their side. They'll want to try to win this case, even if it's post facto, in order to have the precedent set there that in the future, if another student athlete is caught gambling, he or she would not be able to exploit a loophole and find a way back to competing on the playing field or the playing surface or the courts or whatever.
John Brice on tonight, national college football writer for USAToday.com. His reporting is up there on it. Find him on X at John D. Brice 1. Hey, you're a baseball guy, so you tell me, and I know there's a little bit of difference, but I don't know if much. Pete Rose banned for life, Brendan Sorsby playing in the same season. What's the difference?
The difference is loopholes and legal BS, just to be quite candid with you, and it's farcical, and that's about the nicest way I can put it for a word that starts with F. And so I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I hope that there's some teeth involved in this as it moves forward. We've obtained statement from Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark saying that they were anticipating the NCAA filing formal appeal, that he's talking with their stakeholders. Brett Yormark has every single AD, school president, chancellor, football coach, you name it, ticked off at him right now, with the exception of anyone residing in Lubbock, in or around Lubbock, Texas. So we're not done with this yet. This is a legal victory. I said a few weeks ago on a podcast that I thought because of the way Notre Dame ended its season last year and then didn't play in a bowl game and frankly whined so much about being left out of the college football playoff that Notre Dame would be the bad boys of college football this year. No, Notre Dame is back to choir status with Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech in the picture.
Yeah, that could be the case. Huge story. Texas Tech QB Brendan Sorsby wins here against the NCAA after betting on sports and his own team. He admitted to it. He's eligible for the 2026 season. John, this is what I can't quite see. Will other players do this? And is it just a straw man argument, just a scary thing? I would say if 3 basketball players said, hey, guys, we're favored by 4. Let's bag this one. I don't think we're going to get caught. Just miss a few shots, have a few turnovers. Is that just scary stuff to say, or could athletes pull it off?
No, it's not scary stuff to say. Look how many athletes have already been implicated in compromised competition. I think it's something like 17 NCAA basketball student athletes have been found guilty of match manipulation is the legal terminology that attorneys and the NCAA prefers to use. But whatever you want to call it, fixing games, match manipulation, whatever. For all that we know, the overwhelming belief, Nate, is that there's so much more out there that we don't know. And one of the attorneys I talked to, and I would encourage your listeners to go to USA Today Sports and find the story right now because it's all free on the USA Today website. But an attorney says, I fear for what this does for opening the floodgates. And he used the example of Polymarket and said, what did we hear about one military person who maybe placed an early wager on the U.S.'s capture of Nicolas Maduro? And he said, for the rare instance that we hear that, I fear all that we never hear and that we won't hear if this decision is allowed to stand.
I had a listener text in, and he said, hey, I know you know people are getting sued and all this and that. He said the NCAA should probably not do the lifetime ban thing. They should probably let athletes bet on sports in general, but just not their own team or their own sport. Is there any way to have that conversation?
So here's the thing, Nate, and I think we talked about it back in the fall. The NCAA initially this past fall, just months ago, passed a ruling that would have made it legal for student athletes to gamble on professional sports, and the uproar throughout college athletics was so pervasive from college athletics administrators, just like Kirby Hocutt, just like Texas Tech President Lawrence Chovanec, just like all these others. The outcry was so pervasive that we can't allow this to happen because of what it will open up in sports that they repealed it almost immediately at the behest of the membership. And that's the thing that I remind people. Everybody wants to take shots at the NCAA, and the NCAA oftentimes does not do itself any favors. But guess what? The NCAA is a classroom full of its member institutions. So when you're pissed off at the NCAA, be ticked off at Greg Sankey and the SEC. Be ticked off at Brett Yormark and Jim Phillips and Tony Petitti and all the other people, because they're the people that are in the rooms that make up the NCAA membership, that make up the rules, and then ultimately they're the adults that employ the other adults who refuse to follow the rules.
Okay, so that argument would be, John, it's like, well, if we let the guys bet on pro sports, then maybe they won't bet on their own sports. Does that hold up?
No, it doesn't hold up, because what it does do is say, okay, I'm going to bet on this pro sport because it's illegal, and nobody will know that I'm talking to this person who's seeking to compromise me because he knows that I've bet $2,500 on this NFL game, and maybe I can't cover it if that game doesn't go my way. So he's going to talk to me about this basketball game I have coming up, or this hockey game I have coming up, or whatever. So no, I don't think that's a fix whatsoever. You choose willfully to be an NCAA student athlete or an NCAA employee, and you should willfully follow those rules, or go play in Europe or somewhere else where there's not a conflict of interest or where it's permissible. Otherwise, let's remember the fact that Rick Neuheisel, who I've gotten to know through the years, got fired because he participated in an NCAA March Madness pool. He wasn't betting on individual games. He was doing what many of us have done in our Sunday school classes.
I can't believe it. You think about this. some of the stuff that's been handed down over the years, and then the win today for Brendan Sorsby after betting on his own team. Oh, boy. This is going to continue to be covered. It's going to be big. USAtoday.com. That's where you'll find the best sports coverage in college football from John Brice on tonight. John, thanks a lot.
You're welcome, Nate. I got to visit with you and our good friend Keith Kelly today. Maybe one day the three of us can do radio together. That would be a win.
All right, I'll take that. The Upper Midwest Power, the trio. John Brice on tonight. College football, USAtoday.com. Good stuff on this story. Great guys. Mike Golic Jr., his read, a little bit different. John Brice, pretty passionate. There's millions of people that are saying you can't do this. And then there's a few Texas Tech people saying, well, I guess we're going to make this happen. It's going to work. This is going to work. Just absolutely bizarre. And in the meantime, UND has been penalized for self-reporting an assistant coach sending some text to a player that was going to transfer. Go figure. But they're penalized. Craig Mattick's in next. We got a South Dakota sports story to cover. This could change how you view your kid and high school sports. Craig Mattick, SDPB, coming up.
This is the Nate Brown.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share. To revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait? There's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute, and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside. You don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground.
Are there as many kinds of vehicles as there are kinds of people? We think so. At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, we help all kinds of people come together with all kinds of vehicles. With loans made to fit everyone and every ride.
The Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show on tonight. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you making this show possible. You guys mean a lot. Appreciate you listening. KWSN, Fox Sports Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. Big Reaction Monday, full hour next hour with Rob Keighron live. Would Rob be going to the Knicks game tonight if he was back in New York City? He grew up there, lived there most of his life. New York City native Rob Keighron, national radio host, joining us for Knicks Spurs tonight. Oh, this will be fun. I wonder how wound up Rob's going to be. He's going to be smiling tonight. And then he'll be crying tonight after the Spurs win. Heads up, Rob. I'm ready for you. He's coming up. Craig Mattick's on tonight. SDPB, longtime sports broadcaster. Craig, how's your summer? How you doing?
It's been great. Just finished up state softball championships last weekend, the last state tournament for the high schools across South Dakota. It ran a couple of weeks later this year, didn't it?
Normally
saw that. We're done a week after Memorial Day, but it went on a couple of weeks after just because of the way the schedule worked out.
Okay, so you did state softball, and I was going to start there, actually. You're doing state softball, you do state soccer, you've seen these club sports become sanctioned sports. Now tell me again why we don't have high school baseball in Craig Mattick at the end of May.
Mainly because we need the Legion and the Legion programs to accept it. Because, I mean, let's face it, I talked to a guy who runs a club program for softball here in Sioux Falls, and he was at the state softball on Saturday, and he was kind of going, man, I gotta wait another day before I can get my team together. Because most of those young ladies who played in the state softball tournament last weekend are already playing for another team now today, and they're traveling. They're going to Kansas City. They're going all over the place. But state softball has been allowed, as we just completed the 4th year of sanctioned softball. You know, the club teams either said, yes, we're okay with it, or we're told they were going to do it anyway, to allow high school softball in the spring. The only way sanctions baseball, high school baseball, will happen in this state is if the Legion programs allow it and change their schedules.
Wow.
And I just don't see that happening.
I think the high school baseballs, the high schools could say, we're doing it anyway. I think they could say that, Greg. We're doing it anyway.
And I'm sure Rapid City would be the first ones on board, wouldn't they?
Well, you never know. You never know. I think Stevenson Central might say we're doing it anyway. Okay, no high school baseball sanctioning as of now in South Dakota. Craig Mattick's on tonight. The high school sports season winding down this past weekend. Here's the story I got to talk to you about. Okay, Matt Kearney did some work and found some interesting votes from school districts across the state on this amendment. And this is the amendment I've talked to you about before. No red shirt or reclassing year for middle school kids, meaning you can't repeat 7th grade, you can't repeat 8th grade, and then have more eligibility in high school sports. 100 school districts said, yes, we want to make that a rule, that you cannot reclass 7th and 8th grade just to get another year of high school sports eligibility. Do you think this is the right thing?
My first question is, what if that athlete, that kid, that boy, that girl, what if they are struggling academically at that age? And you can say that does happen. That does happen. We have some kids who will struggle at that particular age and will be held back. So what are the qualifications of them saying, okay, yes, you can go ahead and repeat 6th or 7th grade?
You want me to answer that?
Is it, no, it doesn't matter what you do academically, you're not gonna repeat?
I can answer that for you. I can answer it. They say you can repeat, but you will not be playing sports your senior year. So hey, if you have academic struggles or you need to repeat 7th or 8th grade, you will not be playing sports your senior year. You can do that for academics, but we're not going to have you get a 5th year of sports.
Well, I know, like Sioux Falls, they don't allow, the 7th and 8th graders to play varsity anyway.
Okay.
It doesn't happen in Sioux Falls, and I think there's some other schools that do not allow it. But there are some schools. I just think of Mitchell off the top of my head. They have 7th and 8th graders who are able to play varsity. They've done that in girls basketball. And I don't know what Rapid City's rule is when it comes to 7th and 8th graders. But it's one of those where I don't know, by telling them, by repeating, you can't play your senior year, when I would say you just don't get a chance to play your freshman year instead of saying we're going to take you out your senior year by repeating 6th and 7th grade.
You sound like you're a little touchy on this. You sound like, hey, if I got to repeat 8th grade, I should still get to play. Even if I played on varsity, let's say I'm an 8th grader, I've already played high school sports in Rapid City, and then I'm going to repeat 8th grade because I want to be even better. This is what the Activities Association and the schools are trying to stop. I don't know how many people are doing it, but they say wrestlers are number one on this. Number one.
I would say basketball would be right up there as well. It is very touchy because I think, and I kind of like the way that Sioux Falls does it, you get 4 years of high school, okay? 4 years of high school athletics. That's what you get. You can't play varsity as a 7th grader. You can't play varsity as an 8th grader. But that is a major problem when it comes to the number of kids that we have in South Dakota.
Yeah.
And it would seem to me that we must have a major problem if this is something that's already been looked at by a lot of the ADs across the state.
Yeah, you know what I think people are worried about is somebody bringing a case saying, hey, I'm gonna reclass here, and I still want to get more varsity eligibility, and then somebody having a problem with it, and I think the Activities Association is trying to get out in front of it.
I just think, how sad is that? I mean, how sad is that we got mom and dad saying, Johnny, you're a great 7th grader, and you played varsity this year, but you know what? We're going to hold you back a year because we want you to have an advantage later in your high school career. I just think that's sad. And it has nothing to do with academics, where it should be academics. If someone is struggling that much, you hold them back. But here they're doing it just because they think their kid is going to be able to get an advantage athletically if they're able to hold them back.
I will give you this, Craig. There is quite a gray area there. Like, parents could say, hey, my 8th grader's struggling in school. We got to do this for various reasons. And they might be a good athlete, too, and they might say, well, that's just what we're going to do. So there's a lot of gray area, but 100 school districts said, no, we want this rule. So I think the board will do these readings, and I think we're going to have this rule where you can't reclass. Would parents just go, well, we'll do it in 6th grade then? It only says 7th and 8th grade. Will they go to 6th grade?
Yes.
I do wonder that, honestly. I wonder it. Craig Mattick on tonight. Good stuff, SDPB Sports, Sioux Falls. Appreciate you, Craig, as always. Thanks.
Have a great summer.
All right, appreciate you. We'll talk to him again soon. Craig Mattick getting us started on a Monday, SDPB, Sioux Falls. So if you miss that, this is what they're trying to address. South Dakota High School Activities Association Amendment number 1, no redshirt or reclassification years in 7th and 8th grade. If you've been playing high school sports, you can't repeat 8th grade, you can't repeat 7th grade and still maintain another year for high school sports. So you would run out by your senior year of eligibility. And 100 school boards, according to their public meeting minutes, said yes to that amendment. So what do you think? Would parents just work the system on that? Would they go to, we'll just repeat 6th grade? I think I've heard about that. I've seen some people thinking about it. So they might do 6th grade then, repeat that, because that's not part of the rule. I don't know. I didn't know a lot of kids were, well, I don't think a lot are, but enough are that we have a big amendment about it. Repeating middle school and getting an extra year of high school sports. All right. Reaction Monday with Rob Keighron. I think he's probably smiling, but I don't think it'll be for long going into the evening. He's coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
Time to get the groceries for this weekend's cookout. You pick out the best quality grass-fed ground beef and the finest all-natural hot dogs. And then you almost blow it when you hit the bread aisle and reach for the Mad Buns just because they're national brand. Don't do it. Upgrade to locally baked Village Hearth hot dog and hamburger buns. They're soft, fresh, and sturdy enough for toppings that mean business. Success! Village Hearth. Because when the bun's that good, everything you put in it just tastes better.
Mom, can we please go to Watiki Indoor Water Park Resort?
Watiki? What's so special about it?
Are you kidding? It's got slides, fountains, a lazy river, everything. And it's just a short drive to Rapid City. If we stay at one of the hotels, we get water park passes for free.
Wow, you really did your homework. Okay, what do you say we pack our swimsuits and hit Watiki this weekend?
Yes, best mom ever.
Unlock your adventure at WatikiWaterPark.com.
Are you tired of being pointed to a wall of shoes? At Trav's Outfitter, we know better. Buying shoes shouldn't be guesswork. That's why we find the right footwear for the way you move, whether you're walking, working, or just on your feet all day. Athletics, work boots, Western boots, everyday comfort. Because when the fit is right, life is better. Come find us in the old Kmart building. Trav's Outfitter, best selection, best service, no BS.
Since 1928, Connect Home Center has been proud to serve Rapid City and Spearfish with quality products and customer service that you can trust. In 2000, Connect joined the Mead Lumber family, and now they're taking the next step into their journey. Connect Home Center is becoming Mead Lumber. Same people, same service, just a new name from design to finish. Mead Lumber is here for you, as they've always been. MeadLumber.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Stuck in a state of falling behind? Struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? This is State Farm Agent Matt McCormick. Let me help you simplify and get to a better state. With me handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. Even more money, too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Call me, State Farm Agent Matt McCormick, and get to a better state with State Farm. 348-0464.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare South Dakota's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
This is the Nate Brown Show. From the biggest national names to the hottest stories across South Dakota. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, it's going to be a fun Reaction Monday. We're ready to go. Glad you're here. Thanks for being along. The Nate Brown Show is live. Fox Sports Radio, KWSN Sioux Falls, and Fox Sports Rapid City. We call it a Reaction Monday, and boy, Rob Keighron is in. He's ready. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, a lot to discuss tonight. The Brendan Sorsby thing, the Texas Tech quarterback winning his appeal, getting an injunction, betting on his own team, betting on sports over the years, and getting eligibility. The NCAA's last stand not happening, at least of now. You got Game 3 tonight, and Rob Keighron, New York City native. His Knicks are up 2-0. He's been talking smack. I can't get rid of this guy. You've been talking smack. And I got to tell you, I missed it so far. I missed it, but you can't honestly think. Game 3 here, you got a circus now in New York, Madison Square Garden. You got all sorts of things going on. So everybody said the Knicks have won. You guys act like you've won the series, and it happened Friday night. You got lucky big time. The Spurs had it. They gave it away. So you got lucky. You're up 2-0. It should be 1-1. Why do you guys think you've won this thing?
Okay, number one, that is a crazy statement to say we got lucky, okay?
It's Wemby threw it away and he missed.
Okay,
and he missed.
That's a part of it. But we also were up 14 points with 6 minutes to go in the game. So let's not pretend like, we were down. Guy throws up, heaves a half quarter and we get, that's a lucky kind of win. We were up 14 with 6 minutes to play. Did San Antonio play well down the stretch? Yes. But when you're down 14 with 6 minutes to go, you have to do everything perfectly. And even the best players don't do everything perfectly, which is why it's not luck, okay?
We got the ball back tied, and we threw it away.
He's made a lot of mistakes. He's made a lot of mistakes throughout these playoffs. He's 22 years old. He's an excellent basketball player, but he's not there yet. I think that's what we've learned, right? He's not all the way there yet. He's not at that top elite level just yet. He's on his way there. But to say that was a lucky win, I'm sorry. It is not. I will not accept that was a lucky win.
That was not a lucky win.
We were up 14 with 6 minutes to go in the game. We had played better than them for the majority of the game. Other than first quarter, I'll give you that. But other than that, we played better than they did. Now, did Wemby play well in the second half? Yes.
In the first half, terrible.
He was terrible, but he played very well in the second half. But when it mattered most, he didn't communicate well with his teammates, made a terrible decision, a terrible pass, and it ended up costing him the game. He did have a chance to redeem himself and missed the shot.
That was a good look, too. It was a good look.
And sometimes they're not going to go in. Sometimes they hit the back of the rim and they just don't go in. But to say that that's a lucky win, we were every bit as good of a team, if not a better team than they were on Friday night. Did we need something to go our way to win? Yes. We didn't need 10 things to go our way to win, though.
That's why I say it was lucky you're sitting here 2-0. And I'm acting like, people over the weekend, people going into this thing tonight, you walked in here, you think it's over. No, it's over. These New York City guys, I've seen you guys all over the place. You guys are laughing, you're talking, it's over. And it's not over. I'm telling you, tonight, you're going to find out it's not over.
Number one, I don't think it's over by any means. But number two, okay, you were number one last week in saying that we had no shot. In fact,
I said Spurs in 6. That was my official. I said maybe 5.
No. You said I'm going to get Matt Kearney to grab 5. The tapes. You said that they would be lucky to get past the 5th game. You thought for sure San Antonio would win in 5.
Maybe 6.
Now, not
only going to be Spurs in 6, by the way. Now.
I don't. You're literally. I'm supposed to talk on the radio, and you're making me speechless. You're telling me that you think the San Antonio Spurs are going to win the next 4 games in a row.
I am trolling you on that, but the series isn't over. Let's just say
I'll give you that the series isn't over. But if you had asked any basketball fan, let alone Knicks fan or Spurs fan, what could be the best possible position for the Knicks to be in after 2 games? It's up 2-0 going home to Madison Square Garden. Of course, we are heavily favored now to win the NBA Finals. Do I think the series is over? No. Do I think it would be an epic collapse if we lost? Yes. So we absolutely should win this series. Might it go 6 games? It might. It might go 4 games, though. In fairness, right now, if you had a bet right now, which was more likely, the Knicks to sweep the Spurs or the Knicks and the Spurs to go a game 7, which would be more likely? You're a gambling guy.
I think to go 7.
Come on!
I think to go 7.
You just don't want to give in.
Well,
I can see you don't want to give in. That is not true. There's no way after watching those 2 games that you could honestly say.
This wasn't a blowout. Now, first game, you played well, outplayed them, pulled away at the end. Friday night, you got lucky. That was the lucky deal. Wembanyama blew it. Otherwise, it's 1-1, and then you're a little dicey tonight. So you guys are over your skis. I'd love to see your messages you send to all your New York City buddies and your brother. I'd love it. You guys are talking smack.
Of course we are.
I can see it.
We won 2 games on the road in San Antonio when you and everyone else in the world said we had no chance against any Western Conference team. Here's all you need to know, Nate. You know the last time the New York Knicks have lost a basketball game? 45 days ago. April 23rd is the last time we've lost a basketball game. 45 days ago. We've won 13 in a row. And you have the audacity to say, like, oh, somehow this is all luck or no big deal.
Friday night.
We beat them twice on their home court. If they were so good, Nate, after losing game 1 on Wednesday, they would have come out and they would have been guns blazing. They would have put us down by 21 in the third quarter and made the Knicks be like, you know what, let's take the rest of the night off. Let's be rested for Monday night. That's how inconsistent the Spurs are. I don't want to hear anymore about how great the Western Conference is.
Yeah.
Here's what you have to say, Nate. The Knicks are every bit as good as the San Antonio Spurs.
Well, it appears that way.
Oh, my gosh. You can't even admit that.
It appears that way. How did everybody underestimate the Knicks? Where did this come from? It was because you guys had a fool's gold run against some bad teams. So everybody thought these guys aren't that good.
Yes, there's no doubt about the fact that the weak Eastern Conference led people to believe that the West was so much better than anybody that the East can produce. But the fact of the matter is, when you win 11 games in a row in the Eastern Conference playoffs, you are a very good basketball team, even if you're playing weaker teams. And on top of that, what we saw from both OKC and San Antonio, although both excellent basketball teams, I'm not pretending to come on and be like, man, San Antonio is weak, they're not that great. They're a great basketball team. What we saw is both of those teams had flaws. Some of them may be due to injury, some of them may be due to youth and inexperience, but they had flaws. And you wanted to negate those flaws, Nate Brown, and say, well, those flaws are no big deal compared to the fact that anybody in the East is weak.
I did believe the East was weak. Here's the difference. Here's what I'm saying. I'll give you a little credit, not much. The Knicks have experience. That's it. They don't have... I mean, you got Bridges, great, nice player. Brunson, nice player. Katz, all of a sudden, the best player in the NBA. I mean, it's amazing. But they have experience. Spurs, no experience. And that's what you have. That's the big gap to me.
To me, that's one of the big gaps. The other gap is we have found a way in moments, particularly in the second and third quarter, to get leads by scoring from both outside and inside way better than San Antonio has. San Antonio's missed a ton of shots.
Yes, a ton.
Particularly
Outside
from the
shots.
exterior.
Yes.
And the one thing that you and I have learned about the modern day NBA, when we were growing up, you could have missed a number of those shots and still stayed in the game. There were other ways to do it. You can't do that anymore because if the other team just makes 10% more than you over that 10, 15, 20-minute run, you can't catch up to that. And I think that's what San Antonio has done. They've put themselves behind so much in these first two games that even when they have their good stretch in the fourth quarter, they have to be perfect, and you can't be perfect in the NBA.
Did you send a text to anybody that said Knicks in 4?
No, but I absolutely think it's possible. And I was thinking about tweeting it to you the other night, but I was like, you know what? How much am I going to beat this guy down? He's been so incredibly wrong on this NBA Finals.
The Knicks out of nowhere. It's amazing. It's experience over. And by the way, the Spurs playing badly. I mean, I've watched the Spurs a lot. They can't make a shot, and they still should have won Friday. If the Knicks win, I do want Rob Keighron's thoughts on this. He's been in New York City for these titles. New York Giants, Yankees. Now the Knicks, if they win, where does it rank in sports in New York? Coming up.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share. To revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. the #1 hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Sports, your show from East River to West River. This is South Dakota's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
All right, welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live lead tonight, and we are live on Fox Sports Radio, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, just getting the week going. Fun time right now. NBA Finals is outstanding. I mean, I've been really enjoying it. I was a little upset Friday after the misplay by Wembanyama. Wemby's averaging 27 points a game, but his mistakes, inconsistency, the story. Are we going to remember Wemby as blowing it or having a good series?
Well, I think that I think there's an incomplete mark there right now. I think there's too much still that can happen between now and whenever this series ends. What I'd say is,
so far,
he right now he'd be remembered for being inconsistent and not exactly what they needed him to be. But I don't think it's all on him either. I don't think the team has been very great around him either.
They have not.
Too many missed shots. But yeah, when he's your best play, when you're the best player on a team, you need to be your best when it counts the most. And certainly there have been moments in both of these two games where he has not been that. And I don't want to just say that last play. I know you want to boil it down to that, but I think by his poor performance in the first half, he put his team too far down anyway, right? I think that's a big part of this, is that he's been inconsistent through 4 quarters. You need to play 4 quarters. You need to be a presence. You don't need to be perfect in 4 quarters. You need to be a presence, a dominant force in 4 quarters.
So Wemby, I don't get it because he keeps saying, I got to attack. I got to be aggressive. All of his teammates say you got to be aggressive. They're missing shots, by the way, but so is he. He had 7 points in the first half. And they did get up in the Knicks in game 1 by 14 and lost. They got up by 13 and lost. That's because Wembanyama kind of goes away, and then all of a sudden the Knicks are ahead at half, and now you're like, oh, boy, we're in trouble.
Absolutely. And they're particularly when he's been off the court, San Antonio has not found a way to slow down the Knicks, and I think that's been a big theme, a big part of their problem. When he's not, and what is he going to play, 38, 40, 42 minutes? I get it. He can't play 48. Guys don't play 48 anymore. But when he's not on the court, you have to find a way to at least slow down the Knicks.
Do you think? I do think they take him out too much, and I think it's the long game, but this is the NBA Finals. I think they take him out quite a bit.
I can understand he's young, and you want to make sure that you protect him. There's no tomorrow. You're down 2-0 now. This guy has to be in there for 44 minutes tonight. And,
I think so.
I mean, unless you have a 12-point lead, with 3 minutes to go, and you can pull him or something like that. Short of that, this guy needs to play 44 minutes tonight.
Do we remember Michael Jordan getting pulled out? I mean, they pull him out no matter what. First quarter, and then like last 3 minutes or mid 3 minutes, like second quarter. They have like a system down. It's not a secret. Was Michael Jordan coming out when he played the Knicks back in the day?
No, not in tight ball games. Not when he had to continue to be a dominant force. I completely disagree with the strategy, the way they're doing it. I get giving him a little break here and there, before media timeout. Maybe you take a minute or so where he can get a little extra there with the media timeout. But other than that, 44 minutes. I expect if you're going to find a way to win tonight in a must-win situation, because you would at least agree.
Oh yeah.
San Antonio loses tonight, the series is over.
Absolutely.
Okay. It's a must-win game. He has to play 44 minutes.
Rob Keighron's in. It's a Reaction Monday on the Nate Brown Show. So Rob's a New York City native, if you haven't noticed by now. And you've seen titles. You've seen New York Giants. You're not a Yankees fan, but Jeter, Yankees, that run. Knicks win the NBA title. Where does it rank in New York? Because New York is a basketball town. It is.
It absolutely is. And there have been a lot of very dark years, a lot of very quiet years, a lot of years with nothing to root for. In my lifetime, I can remember, first of all, the Knicks have won 2 championships, 1970, 1973, before I was born. In my lifetime, I can remember 3 truly significant championships. The 2008 New York Giants, when they won Super Bowl 42 and beat the undefeated New England Patriots.
Yes.
That was massive in New York.
Huge.
Because of the fact that they were underdogs. The 1996 New York Yankees, who hadn't won since 1978, I think, and they were down 2-0 in that series to the Atlanta Braves. It was Joe Torre's first year. It was kind of the first real year together of Jeter and Mariano, even though he wasn't closing at the time, and the Posada, Bernie Williams, all those guys.
Yes.
It was huge because they hadn't won in 18 years, and they had some lean years too, the Yankees. And the 1994 New York Rangers, which I think was actually bigger than the other two, because I was at that parade, the parade down the Canyon of Heroes. There were 2 to 3 million people at that parade, and they hadn't won in 54 years. There's one difference between all these 3. No one cares about any other basketball team in New York other than the New York Knicks.
There's no competition.
Right. The Giants and Jets is competition. The Yankees and Mets is competition. And even for people who don't pay attention, the Rangers and Islanders absolutely is competition in New York. Nobody cares about the Brooklyn Nets because they were in New Jersey forever, and nobody cared about them when they were there. The New York Knicks captivate New York City. And if they were to win for the first time in 53 years... and do it in spectacular fashion against the new face of the NBA, I think there'd be 4 to 5 million people at that parade.
Okay, so let me put it this way: there's people waiting in line because they got the TSA security lines. I mean, they got something going on tonight. Would Rob Keighron, if you're not here on the Nate Brown Show in the great state of South Dakota, if you were in New York, would you find your way to one of these games?
There's a connection that I have that you know of that absolutely probably could get me a ticket for Wednesday night. And so if I could use that connection to get a ticket, would I spend thousands of dollars to go to the game? No. I'd go watch it with my buddies. But if I had the connection get me the ticket and I could do it, I absolutely would go. 100%.
How about tonight with the 2.5-hour lines?
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I think I probably would pass.
By the way, how much of a mess is that? You've been down there. I've been to New York City. I haven't been. I will say I haven't been to MSG, so I haven't been to Madison Square Garden ever. How much of a mess is that down there? It's a 5-block radius blocked off.
Well, it's a mess. I mean, we don't need to get into the minutia of this, but it's a mess on a normal night if the Knicks are not playing. It's home to Penn Station, which is where all of the trains go out of Long Island Railroad, and all the different Amtrak trains go out of there. So you got people just trying to get home or get into the city at the same time as now you have not just a basketball game, but an NBA Finals game, the first NBA Finals game at Madison Square Garden in 27 years, with the Knicks up 2-0. And, oh, by the way, the President of the United States, who happens to be from New York City, is also going to the game. Yeah, no, you can't catch me dead around that area. It's a complete disaster, complete mess. They'll be waiting 2 hours to get into that arena.
Listener text coming in on the NBA Finals in New York. He's saying they won't have a game on the weekend. Would it be better to be on a weekend NBA Finals or a weeknight in New York?
Well,
does it matter?
I don't think it really matters, but I think in terms of the streets being full, actually a weeknight is probably even more, because there'd be more people still in Manhattan from the night. You know, like, I know it's hard for people to imagine who have never been to New York or you don't really know a lot about New York. New York is a big, sprawling city. Like, where I grew up is nowhere, it's still in New York City, nowhere near Madison Square Garden. I didn't grow up in Manhattan. I grew up in Queens, New York. Well, if I were in Manhattan for the day, I would stay in as the Knick game was on. But on a weekend, when I wouldn't be there normally, there'd be actually less people. So I actually think a weeknight would create even more mayhem if the Knicks were to somehow win at home.
And they are on tonight. It is a must-win for the Spurs, I will say that. The Knicks trying to go up 3-0. What is the Poly Market odds? This was provided by Matt Kearney, the great producer of the Nate Brown Show. So what is most likely to happen? What are people betting on in the Poly Market tonight? Most likely to happen, 32% betting Knicks sweep. Knicks sweep.
Again, I don't think it should be more likely than, say, Knicks in 5, but I completely get that the Knicks fan is now absolutely engulfed in Knicks basketball and almost wants to see a sweep happen to validate how good of a team this is. Because you got to say this. If they were to win tonight and Wednesday night and finish 15 games in a row in the playoffs, I mean, that's legendary stuff, Nate. You have to, even if with a weak East, it's legendary stuff.
That's what I'm saying. I'm in a time where Karl Anthony Towns is the number 1 player in the country.
He's not the number 1 player. He's playing the best right now, but he's not the number 1 player in the league.
We'll see if we'll see if they quit calling fouls on Castle tonight. So
here we go.
We'll see if where that goes tonight. Spurs trying to get it done, get back in this thing, and they will. You heard it here first. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby. This is a huge story. Yeah, I think even bigger than the Knicks for what it means. We'll get into betting on sports, and now he's still going to be able to play coming up.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
At Splash City, we think there's a time for everything. There's work time, there's play time, and there's your time. Splash City specializes in your time. Spas for you and your friends. Beautiful gas fireplaces that can be used almost anywhere, bringing warmth to the night or letting you be alone with your thoughts. Splash City. Rest, relax, enjoy.
Sagging, bouncing, or uneven floors? Call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Standing water or high humidity? Nasty odors or dangerous mold? Call Blackburn. Critters, bugs, or other pests? That's right, call Blackburn. It's a fact. Crawl space problems don't get better with time, but they do get better when you call Blackburn Foundation Repair. Call Blackburn Foundation Repair today.
Imagine this, a bank that is committed to you, that understands your needs, your values, and your growth. No more settling for the status quo. Pioneer Bank & Trust offers tailored solutions, innovative services, and a team of experts dedicated to your success. You deserve more attention and more support from your bank. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank & Trust. Local.
Pioneer Bank & Trust. Member FDIC.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see new models of stand-up and teardrop campers on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new SGC Armor line of campers from Bontrager Outdoors. Bang for the buck, there's just nothing out there like these new super cool Armor campers and Bontrager teardrops.
And the suspension these campers have? Wow, so impressive.
All our campers come standard with the off-road package. Bontrager and Armor just ramped boondocking up another notch. And right now, you'll get the best price all year on these 2026 ultra-light, ultra-beefy, option-loaded campers and teardrops.
You gotta check out these new look campers, people. The new designs are fantastic, and so many options for their size.
And so many options for towing. No need for a diesel or a big truck. These only weigh around 1,500 to 2,000 pounds, so they can be towed by almost any rig.
Check out these new 2026 Bontrager and SGC Armor campers, everyone. See anytime.com, and as always, at the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Shop the region's unmatched selection of beer, wine, and spirits at your Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City. This month's specials include $4 off the big 175 bottle of Jack Daniels, now $45.99. Save $2 off all Menage a Trois wines for only $9.99. Or choose Deep Eddy Vodka, just $15.99 for the $7.50. Price is good at both Mr. Liquor stores in Rapid City, off Catron next to Walmart, or the original Mr. Liquor on the corner of West Chicago and Sturgis Road in Rapid City.
This is The Nate Brown Show, also streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe to The Nate Brown Show on YouTube.
All right, South Dakota Sports Talk Show live Monday on Fox Sports Radio across the state. Great state of South Dakota. It's South Dakota Sports Talk Show, Fox Sports Radio, KWSN Sioux Falls, our affiliates. Also, Fox Sports Rapid City. Rob Keighron's in. Boy, first half an hour, Knicks talk. He's wound up. He's smiling. He's ready. New York, going to be rocking tonight. Game 3. I'm excited for it. Spurs are going to get back in this thing. And when it goes 2-1, now we got a little problem on our hands, don't we?
No, I don't think so at all. And be fair, the Knicks only have to win one of these two games at home. That's all that matters, right? It doesn't matter if it's Game 3 or Game 4. You just have to win one of these two games, and you're absolutely fine. You're up 3-1 with 3 games to go.
If they lose this one, Wednesday becomes pretty interesting.
Oh, I completely agree with you. It absolutely does become interesting because if they were to lose that game and be 2-2 with 2 games in San Antonio and the momentum the other way, that's a problem. But you only have to win one of these two.
Okay, tonight's the kicker for the Spurs and for the Knicks. So here's the biggest story, I think, in sports. I know the Knicks-Spurs finals has been massive. This story's absolutely huge, and if it holds, it's going to be wild to me. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby, I started my show with it, had Mike Golic Jr. on tonight. He gave his reaction. He's been a college football athlete at Notre Dame. He's been a college football analyst. Brendan Sorsby has won his appeal, so he gets an injunction. This is the quarterback who was at Indiana, at Cincinnati, transferred to Texas Tech, getting big NIL money to play. He's one of the top QBs in the country. And then he admitted to betting on sports. All this stuff came out, Rob, about thousands of bets. And he bet on his own team in Indiana. He didn't play during that time, but nonetheless, he bet on his own team. He admitted to it. The NCAA banned him. He's ineligible. The legal team kept at it. The judge in Texas today said he can play. He would get irreparable harm if he wasn't allowed to play for Texas Tech. What does this mean?
Well, I think it means a lot of things, Nate. But to me, the craziest thing is I think everyone is against athletes gambling on sports, at the very least their own sport or their own team, right? Like, I would think most people, if we polled people, they would say if you bet on your own team or if you bet on your own sport as an athlete, you should be banned, right?
That's 100%.
I mean, I just can't imagine that people would be against that. But what does it really show? We've discussed this so many times. Whose fault is this? It's not the judge's fault, and it's not the kid's fault. There's two culprits in this.
Huh?
No, the kid made bad decisions, but wait, the legal decision today is not his fault. There's two people who's at fault, two entities. Number one is Texas Tech, because they absolutely supported him doing this,
big time,
and they're going to let him play,
yes.
right? So if they were interested in the integrity of college football, they would say, we don't care what happens in this court case.
They would have made him ineligible.
You're out. We don't want someone who's gambling on college football, particularly their own football team, to be a part of our school or our program. And they chose not to do that, so it's their fault. But who's really at fault?
Now, don't say the NCAA. Don't say that.
Of course the NCAA.
This is their last rule. This is the number one rule. This is all they've got.
But they don't have a rule. They don't have a rule. They don't have a leg to stand on until they come up with a framework to collectively bargain with the players. Why? Because in the professional leagues, they collectively bargain and they come up with rules that the players union and the ownership agree on. And if there is a discrepancy, they come up with their own arbiter to decide that. They don't allow you to go to state or federal court because they've collectively bargained with each other and said, these are our rules.
These guys aren't employees.
But they are. They're making money.
We don't want to be employees.
Well, tough. If you want to get paid, the NCAA can come up together, get together and say, we are going to collectively bargain with these players. And what will end up happening? The agents will get together and say, this will be better for us long term to collectively bargain as opposed to all of this piecemeal stuff that we're doing now. It'll blow up the system even more. Even bigger money will be getting thrown around. The fact that the NCAA cannot get a handle on this, and it's because conferences are going against each other.
Wait.
Teams in conferences are going against each other and not agreeing.
So can I show up to a Texas Tech game? I'm the QB. And I can show up just drunk. I can show up drunk and play a game. I can just do that, and then I have a problem. I couldn't be kicked out. The team couldn't say, and the NCAA said, hey, we can't have this. This is against the rules. The NCAA has rules. You can't break the rules and then blame the NCAA for having rules. I can't show up soused and play or something like this. I mean, come up with another example. He broke the rules, and then he said somehow, well, it's an illness. Well, so is alcoholism. But you can't break the rules of your organization. You can't do it.
Yes, you can when he's not a member of the NCAA. He's a player. Who's a member of the NCAA? Texas Tech. They are literally going against their own governing body and saying, we don't care about your rules.
Yeah.
We want the kid to play.
They paid him whatever the money is. They say $5 million, so they say, we want him to play. And guess what? The Nebraska Huskers released some emails today saying, we're not going to play these guys. And Nebraska's not the only one. They're saying, we're not going to play Texas Tech now, so now they got that problem.
Well, and it's a problem again because none of these teams, none of these conferences are coming together and trying to create one system that governs everyone. It's the same thing with the NIL. It's different in every conference. It's different at every school. There aren't any kind of true guardrails in place. No, I am not for athletes gambling on sports. But this is on the NCAA. It is not on if the kid realizes that he has a legal recourse to win, this would never happen in pro sports, Nate, because they already have laws.
Yeah, they have rules. They have rules
that are collectively bargained.
Yeah, just because we let the players' union decide what the rules can be a little bit.
Yes, that's a lot to do with fairness. The kid has no say over the. All you have to do is start collectively bargaining. Make them have a union. What do you mean no?
Because
you're going to keep having more of this.
We can't have collective bargaining because if you have employees, then you're going to blow up the whole system. You're not going to have Olympic sports. You're not going to have any of it. If you want employees, you're going to have football and basketball. That's it because they make money. We're not going to have employees around that don't make money for us. They're going to ship them out. You're going to be playing club club sports.
So be it. What's the problem? Is that such a big deal? I mean, honestly.
Hang on. Can you bet on club sports? Because those aren't collectively bargained.
Why not?
Can I bet on Frisbee golf? I was pretty good at that. I might be able to bet on that.
Who's going to take that bet is what I'd like to meet that bookie.
Coming right back. Let me get into this. It is the World Cup this week. The World Cup. Rob Keighron knows about the World Cup. U.S. men's national team plays Friday night. What do we think about their chances on the way?
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show.
There's nothing like it. Not for hundreds of miles in any direction. A gathering space for all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds. To share, to revel, to stand together and celebrate life's greatest moments.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
The summer heat will be here soon, but our hot summer savings sale starts now. Get $1,200 off every door and $800 off every window with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. Plus an extra 5% off the entire project if purchased on initial consultation. Hurry, this exclusive offer won't last long. Now's the perfect time to upgrade your windows and doors, so grab these hot savings while you can. Call today or visit RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate.
What do you call a place? It's one of Deadwood's largest casinos, but is it really a casino? Because you can't decide, should I play or eat or wait, there's a liquor-infused ice cream bar? I mean, you're playing craps one minute and the next you're looking at a charcuterie board? What even is that? Never mind the gunfight outside, you don't have time for that. You've got espressos to down and games to bet on and a pub with 48 whiskeys? What do you even call a place like that?
I didn't know anything about radon. I didn't know it's a gas you can't see or smell. I didn't know it's radioactive from decaying uranium deep underground. It can seep through cracks in your foundation and collect in your house. 1 in 15 homes have high levels, and you don't know if yours is one of them unless you have your home tested. And radon? Well, radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer in America. I wish I would have known that.
Call Blackburn Foundation Repair for radon testing and mitigation.
There are 1 billion credit card transactions around the world every day. That's 11,698 swipes a second. It's easy to forget that behind each one, there's a person, a family, a dream, a connection being made. The Black Hills Federal Credit Union Visa, for members who want to make the most of every transaction.
Is South Dakota's Sports Talk.
What's there, a new movie out? Michael Jackson, is that out right now?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't heard much about it either. Honestly, there's too much sports going on right now for me. But
I have not seen that. I've heard it's good. The Nate Brown Show is on. Rob Keighron is in. A Reaction Monday as we wrap up tonight. You know what's on for the next month? The World Cup. So are you juiced for the World Cup here? I mean, U.S. men's national team against Paraguay Friday night. Are you juiced for the World Cup?
Absolutely. Once every 4 years, people get completely into this. They root for your country. watch some of the other interesting countries. There are some great teams around the world, particularly in Europe, that I'll be completely into watching. But 100% on Friday night, I will be glued to that television paying attention to the World Cup.
So, did you go to World Cup? Do I remember this? Did you go to a World Cup match anywhere?
No, I've been to a lot of European soccer matches, but I've never been to a World Cup.
Okay, so you've been to high level, though.
Yeah.
European matches. What do you think the scene's going to be like in Kansas City, in L.A.? What's the scene going to be like here?
Oh, I think people are going to be completely into it. The fact that you don't have to watch it at weird times, right? Think about the World Cup. A lot of times we have to watch these games at odd hours. Kind of the same thing with the Olympics. Having it in your backyard, having people, who you might actually know go to some of these games, I think in a lot of these cities, people will be completely head over heels for this, particularly for the U.S. team.
So I watched the U.S. men's national team, the send-off match against Germany over the weekend. I watched like 90% of that. And people think that's a good sign of what's to come in the group play. They take on Paraguay first, then it's Australia and Turkey. And I look at these. I don't know these countries, if their soccer team's off the charts. So is this a group they're coming to? Is that a good sign? We almost beat Germany, almost.
We played well against them. Defensively, we played very well against them, I would say. We didn't create enough chances ourselves. I think it's a good sign. I don't have super high expectations for our team.
Why not?
Well, a lot of reasons, to be honest. But I think a big part of it is I haven't seen enough over the last couple of events where they have been consistent enough. Right? They have their moments where they're good. But, World Cups are very tough. Like, you have to be so good from start to finish. You can't have any mental lapses.
Yep.
I do think it would be a travesty if we didn't get out of our group. I don't know if we have to win it, but first or second obviously gets out, and there are 8 third-place teams that make it to the round of 32. It would be a travesty if we do not get out of our group. An absolute travesty at home.
So we have to make it out. Have to make it out of Australia, Turkey, Paraguay.
And it starts on Friday night because the team that we absolutely should beat is Paraguay. Because,
you have to.
Yeah, that team we are significantly better than. We're better than them. I would argue we're better than all 3 teams, but I would say Turkey is probably on a very similar level. We're better than Australia. You got to get out of it. It's only 3 games, right? You think about it.
Right.
You get behind quickly, and all of a sudden you feel a lot of pressure. I would think that this is the game that they win fairly easily and get themselves off to a good start.
If the U.S. makes a run in the World Cup, what is that like in this sports culture? Soccer's been down the way, but everybody jumps on this. If they make a run, I'm talking deep.
Well, particularly because, the NBA Finals will be over by then, right? And there's nothing else going on, and you can watch the games at normal hours. You know these stadiums. You recognize, where these things are happening. If they were to ever get, say, even like a quarterfinal, that would captivate the nation, and it would be a massive rating.
I would think so. U.S. men's national team playing Paraguay Friday night. World Cup starting up. We're going to have a lot of fun over the next month. Is Christian Pulisic, is he the man? People tell me he's the man. I can't tell.
He's a top player in Europe, so he hasn't always done it on the national team, though.
I know.
And so that's where he's going to have to show that he can translate all of the great competition that he's in Europe all year long to playing on this level for your national team. And that's always the thing I worry about with the U.S. team is they never seem to gel very well together when they play together on a national level.
We're back tomorrow. The Nate Brown Show out. Rob Keighron in. Knicks, Spurs tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.
At Splash City, we think there's a time for everything. There's work time, there's play time, and there's your time.